Hey, what's going on, friends? This is Paul Hutchings. Hope you're having an amazing day. In today's Good Parts episode, I want to share some mysterious ideas that kind of presented themselves to me this morning in answer to a question that I woke up with. This morning, I woke up with this question: what is wisdom and how would one define it? And as I tried to define it for myself, I had a challenge. I was trying to put it into words and I was like, why is this kind of elusive? Why can't I put this into words? What is wisdom? And over the next hour or two, some mysterious answers kind of presented themselves in helping me to define this idea for myself. And so I want to share these mysterious ideas today in this live as you watch, in the hopes that if we can better understand what is wisdom, not only will we know where to look for it, but we'll also, as we gather it up, be able to use it to make the best decisions and navigate both life and business in the very best way. So to me, that's pretty exciting. And I want to ask you a question as we're starting off. What is wisdom? How would you define it? Please comment below. I want to learn from you because that's how I was learning this morning, asking questions, listening, mixing ideas in the laboratory of my brain. And I feel like I really picked up some value. So also, if you're tuning in live, let me know who you are, where you're plugging in from. Nick Romani, thank you so much from West Virginia. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're watching the replay, please also comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know where you're plugging in from. Let me know how life is. One of the goals of the Good Parts series that I've been doing on social media every day, Monday through Friday, is to do the best that I can to help myself and others increase in joy, happiness, prosperity, success, all the good that life has to offer. So hopefully today's episode will dovetail beautifully into that. Okay, so let me jump into the content. So what is wisdom? So as I was asking myself this question, one of the things that I did that I do every day is I got on a morning call, which is called the Grow Rich Mastermind. I've been tuning into this call for over 10 years. And at the end of the live, if you'd like to learn about this mastermind, it's free, it's powerful, it's life-changing. I'll show you how to get access to that. But I was listening to the call today, and one of my friends, Lori Sue Nathurda, she was hosting. So I got on the call with this question: what is wisdom? And as I was listening to the call, and the message that Lori Sue delivered today in part was about the difference between fame and greatness. Is there a difference between fame and greatness? And one of the quotes that she shared was the following. She said, "Better to be loved by one person who knows your soul than by a million people who don't even know your phone number." And when I heard her share that quote, I said, that's wisdom. That's wisdom. That felt like wisdom to me. And so that was a little bit of a clue. And then as the call developed, another one of my friends, Rita Joy Gray, down in Texas, who also tunes in to our Good Parts episodes from time to time. What's up, Gio? Good to see you. Thanks for saying hello. Kevin Coe, life is good. So glad to hear that, Kevin. Thanks for tuning in. So Rita Joy comes out on the call and she shares this amazing poem that I think I've heard her share before. But today, because I was asking this question, what is wisdom? When she shared it today, it hit me. And I listened to the replay and I jotted it down and I said, I've got to memorize this because it's powerful. And the quote is about an owl. And I think it goes, let's see, the wise old owl. Let's see, I jotted it down in case I forgot it, which it seems like I'm forgetting it. The wise old owl lives in the oak. The more he saw, the less he spoke. The less he spoke, the more he heard. Why can't we all be like that bird? So that was so great. And I thought, that's wisdom, right? That poem is wisdom. And I titled this episode Nature Sage. And in part, I titled this episode Nature Sage because an owl is really kind of a representation of nature, of wisdom, in nature of wisdom, right? Doesn't an owl, when we think about an owl, we kind of think like wise old bird, like the poem says. So that was another little mysterious answer. Now, then I finish the call. I go to the gym. I'm on the treadmill. And I've got this friend that I talk to in the gym. Sometimes I talk about him. You may have heard me talk about him before. His name's Dean, but I call him Socrates. And the reason I call him Socrates is because there's There's a great book, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman. And in that book, it tells this mysterious story about this sage that this person meets that was on the roof, and then he appears down and has conversations with him, and then he goes back to the roof. And in the book, the character calls this sage Socrates. So I call my friend Socrates because he appeared several years ago at a time in my life when I was facing a very unique challenge. And this individual just kind of appeared out of nowhere. And it turns out that he had been dealing with the same challenge that I was facing. And we became really great friends. So anyway, we have a lot of these philosophical conversations in the gym. So I'm on the treadmill, he's next to me, and I say, Socrates, how would you define wisdom? And he said, that's a good question. He said, I have to think about that for a second. But then here's what he said. He gave me a definition. And the definition was this. He said, let's see, what did he say? I wrote it down too, in case I forgot. Okay, here it is. Conclusions and awareness drawn from the accumulation of experience. Conclusions and awareness drawn from the accumulation of experience. And as we talked a little bit more, he added the caveat that are in alignment with truth. So conclusions and awareness drawn from the accumulation of experience. And if you take that definition and you compare it to the poem that Rita Joy shared, the wise old owl sits in the oak. The more he saw, the less he spoke. The less he spoke, the more he heard. Why can't we all be like that bird? The wise old owl is an observer. And so if we can observe from our own lives and also from the lives of others, which are experiences, my experiences, your experiences, people in podcasts, people in books, their experiences. We can be like that owl and observe and accumulate the conclusions and the awareness that can be gathered up from all of these accumulated experiences. We can be more wise and we can make better decisions because we've gathered up those conclusions and that awareness. And that was another hint to how one might define wisdom. And the last thing I want to share, and I'm going to check the comments here real quick. Lori says, you are great. So are you, Lori Sue. Tony the Tiger, eat your heart out because Lori Sue is great. So thank you so much, Lori Sue. Appreciate that. Minister Christian, send some hearts. Thank you so much. Lori Sue says, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much. You too, Lori Sue. Some more hearts. Nick says, those who are wise are those who listen more and say less. Ooh, that's good. That's good. Rita Joy says, great job on the poem, Paul. Let's all be wise owls. Thanks. I got to work on it. So it's like right there. I had it this morning before the live, but I had to check my notes, which is okay to check notes, right? Christian says, conclusions and awareness drawn from experience. Love that definition of wisdom. Danny Krenza says, hey, Paul, I get some wisdom from you daily. Funny because you're younger than me, but I probably have a different older wisdom. For sure, right? We all have different wisdom. And that's why it's so valuable to learn from everyone we can. Lori Sue says, yes, let's be wise old owls. Absolutely. So the last thing I wanted to share is I wanted to go back to my own answer to my own question that came to me before I had these mystic experiences, as my friend Rita Joy would say. The best definition I could come up with for wisdom before I had these experiences unfold in my reality was wisdom is a reliable compass. A reliable compass. A compass shows us where to go, which direction. It helps us to know we're on the right path. When I heard Lori Sue's quote, my inner compass said, that's wisdom. I have this compass. And I think we all have this compass inside of us. And the other thing, this is the last thing that I'll share on this topic. And it's from my conversation with my friend, Dean. I asked Dean, do you think that, if wisdom is conclusions and awareness drawn from the accumulation of experiences, so it's kind of like these lessons we're picking up from our lives and everyone else's lives. I said, is that different from intuition? Is intuition different from this? Is there something inside that's different from this wisdom? And we had this interesting conversation on that. And I would pose the question to you, is there a difference between intuition And what I'm going to call, this is what I called in our conversation, out tuition. So if wisdom is conclusions and experiences drawn, conclusions and awareness drawn from the accumulation of experiences, and we're the wise old owl, what we're doing is we're observing reality and we're getting out tuition, right? Out tuition. And how do we get out tuition? And why is it called tuition? Because in order to get it, we have to pay tuition, pay attention. We have to pay attention. We have to be an observer. And the more we observe and the more we pay our tuition or pay attention, the more we're able to draw in and the wiser we can become. So maybe that's out tuition. And maybe that is a little different than intuition. So I don't have an answer for the intuition. I think there is something to intuition. But that's a little mysterious. Maybe the intuition is the voice inside that as you're observing and you're sorting and sifting, and testing different things you're picking up with your consciousness, maybe the intuition is what lets you know what is worth gathering up from the out tuition and treasuring up inside. So I don't know, a little bit of a rambling, but it's fun. I think it's fun to think about these things, and hopefully we can be the best navigators of life and business. We can learn how to make the best decisions in every situation. So closing call to action. I just want to encourage all of us to be more observant, learn from everywhere, everything that we can, see what reality has for us. And I think we can make the world a better place as we do that. So I've got to get back to a couple other comments. But before I do, I want to let you know that I do these every day, Monday through Friday. If you got value from this and you're finding me for the first time, I'd love to encourage you to subscribe to me on social media, and or what I think is the best way to get content for me in the future is to visit my treasure trove. Some people might call this a website, but man, you know what? Everyone's got a stinking website. I don't want a website. I want a treasure trove. And I call this a treasure trove because you see at the end of my link here, it has GIFTS, which are gifts. I have prepared some gifts, one of which is how to attend the daily mastermind that I talked a little bit about today. That's free. So you can get that. And there are some other very valuable gifts on that page. You can pick one that resonates with you. And as you do, you'll be subscribing to my email list and be sure to get all of my best content in the future moving forward. So that is my shameless plug. And I'm going to jump back to the comments real quick to be the wise old owl, hopefully, and be paying attention to what everyone is sharing with me. Booker the Freedom Cooker says, good live. Thank you, Booker. Appreciate that. Nick Romani says, wow, a reliable compass. That is awesome. I love that. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Nick. Great metaphor, right? Metaphor for memory. Metaphors are great for remembering things. And Lori Sue says, treasure trove. Love it. Thank you so much. And that is also a metaphor. Metaphors are great for communication and great for marketing. And think about that for a second. Are you more excited to go visit a website or to go to a treasure trove? See how powerful metaphors are? Metaphors transfer so much meaning and goodness, in words that we don't get if we're just saying average, normal, everyday things. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Love and appreciate all of you. Get out there, take action, go for your dreams, and we'll hopefully see you in tomorrow's episode of The Good Parts. Take care and bye for now.